We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
I did. Oh, wow. Right on the tip. Just on the tip.
And Blabs. Co-hosted by our friends from around the internet.
There is a portion of Norway where it is legally required to carry a firearm at all times.
If you're just a normal man looking for common sense in this crazy-ass world, come to the right place. And now, broadcasting from our homes from around the internet, it's time for Side Scrollers.
Okay, you ready? Open wide!
Oh, what the hell is going on here? Can you hear me okay? Is the music going? I do not hear the music. What the hell is going on with that? All right, well, welcome out to Side.
Okay, so you coughed on camera backstage in the intro, so I muted you, and then everything else on streamer is just shut out. Anyway, I'll go backstage. You can do your intro.
Oh, let me tell you what happened. Hold on, come on back, Blabs. Come on back. So let me tell you what happened. Right when I went to the intro, we've been having these issues with StreamYard lately, where my mic, I don't know if you saw, my camera cut out. So when my camera cut out, it reset all my settings.
Oh, I thought you just coughed and you forgot to mute yourself.
No.
You're like,
No. Hey, everybody, welcome out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com, and of course, Side Scrollers Podcast, SideScrollersPlus.com. Good to see everybody. What a heck of a way to start the show today. Right, Blabs?
Hey. I'm Blabs VI, actually.
Oh, yes, Blabs
Upgraded.
VI. We know this, yes.
Not
Blabs the 6th. There's Blabs VI. That's right. Glad you guys are with us today. We have a banger of a show with no music playing underneath. What the hell?
I don't know.
Weird.
I haven't touched any of that.
So
That was not
weird.
me.
Does this
Blabs,
work?
You're fired.
Does that work?
Yeah, that works.
Blabs!
You can hear
Yes.
that?
Yeah, you can't hear that.
No, I can't hear that at all.
Oh, so it's been you turning on and off the audio. It's been playing this entire time.
Wait, so you can hear the music in the background? Or you could have?
Yeah, when you were like, I can't hear, is the music on? The music was on. It was very loud.
Okay, I couldn't. Something's going on my end. I don't even know what's happening.
Maybe you should refresh just in case.
Phoenix, where are you? Fix our stuff.
Help!
We've only been
Craig's
doing this
daddy.
show for 2+ years, and here we are. But yes, we have a great show for everybody today. We are diving deep into the reaction, the visceral reaction to the Switch 2. We are 24 hours or so after the announcement, and the internet is going crazy right now. The Nintendo Treehouse stream that is showcasing a lot of those games is hilarious. And we have a phenomenal guest on today, as always. Every couple weeks here on a wonderful Thursday, we welcome the crazy fox lady herself. It's Kirsche.
Hello, good morning.
Yo.
I'm kind of glad that I haven't bought, glorified Pokemon playing machines in a hot minute.
Nope, been a little bit. But what's funny? We were talking about that yesterday. What was it, Blabs? 28. The first 28 games of the top selling games for the Switch are
Something
Nintendo
like
games.
that. Yeah, something like 28.
Mm-hmm.
That does
But
not
we're-
surprise me.
Yeah, it is. I said this before. I'll say it again. Nintendo makes Nintendo games. They don't make video games. They make Nintendo games, and there's a difference right there. So, all right. Well, how are you, Kirsche? You doing well?
I'm doing pretty okay. Just regular doctor's appointment, still on medication for my shoulder. It's getting a little better. I have feeling in my left hand again, so that's wonderful.
Oh, that's good. So you're going through some stuff as well. I don't know if you saw. I also am going through some stuff, Kirsche.
This is just an excuse for him to flash his foot on stream.
Look at that.
Let's get a boot.
I got a boot. That's
Got a
right.
boot this time, but on Friday he was showing the toes and everything.
Well, I didn't have a boot.
Attracting the foot friends.
Listen, we're going
Listen.
to craigsfeet.com starting soon. So
What happened to Craig's feet?
it's coming. Yeah. Craig's feet happened when I tried to jump.
What man can't jump?
I was playing
too
basketball.
old to be jumping.
Well, I was playing basketball, and this guy went up for a layup, and I tried to block it, and the block was good, the landing was not. So I came down and small fracture of the foot. So got to keep it in the boot for a couple weeks, and we'll kind of see what happens there. Would you like to see the fracture? I haven't shown this, Blabs. You want to see the fracture?
You showed the big photo of the balloon-like foot that you had.
No, look. So here's the fracture, Blabs. There it is. You can see it. See this little dip right there that's not connected? Yeah, it just popped right off. So
That's disgusting.
it's a bone. What do you want?
That's nasty.
If
It's
only
a
I
bone.
could take some of the extra bone my spine is making and give it to you.
Oh, that'd be yes. Share the bone while you listen. That's sounds like a porno, by the way.
Clip.
Share the bone. If only
Not
I
to be
could.
confused with the medical journal.
Yes. So if somebody can please make that fine film, that'd be great. Sharethebone.com. I'm sure we'll be up very, very soon. Big day for us and big day for you, Kirsche. Let's talk about your big day first.
My big day, I got Gamer Sups merch for sale. You could go to Gamer Sups and buy my wonderful, beautiful, slightly lewd merchandise. We're using code Kirsche for 10% off.
Nice. There you go. And also, we have Nerd Duel premiering today on YouTube. It is premiere week, which is very, very exciting for us. But you can watch that right now by becoming a member of SidescrollersPlus.com. And you can actually support Kirsche directly by using promo code FOXLADY if you get an annual membership over there. So use promo code FOXLADY. That is one word. And Kirsche will see support from that, which is great. And you obviously support our show and you support all the productions that we're doing. But today, like I said, immediately after the show today, we're going to be premiering over on YouTube our brand new trivia show, Nerd Duel, which is kind of like Jeopardy mixed with a little bit of Mario Party with a little bit of Mortal Kombat attached to it. And we're going to encourage you guys to head over there and check it out. Like I said, you won't even have to leave the page. So we're going to stream right to it. We had Blabs versus earlier this week, but the days you need to know, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 o'clock. Give it a go. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, and one last thing about Nerd Duel and Side Scrollers Plus in particular. During the first season of Nerd Duel, we are going to be giving away 100 gifted memberships to the winner of our season, and every new member of Side Scrollers Plus will add a new gifted membership to that total. So if we have 50 new members to Side Scrollers Plus, we'll add 50, and so we'll give away 150 gifted memberships to their channel. If we have 500, we'll give away 600 over there on their channel. So it's really important. You guys can actually give Plus a try for free by using promo code NERD. I think it is. Let me triple check.
How many R's is that?
That's 3 R's right there. Where is it? This one right here. This way. Use promo code DUEL to get a free month. So like I said, you head over there and stack up on the total number of gifted memberships we'll have to the grand prize winner, which maybe Kirsche will be on. I don't know. We got to find a day to book her to be on the first season. So
absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So head over there. Once again, Nerd Duel premiering today over on YouTube. It's a big week for us so far. Blabs versus has been great. Nerd Duel, I think it's going to be awesome. All right, we do have a big show. Like I said, we're talking Nintendo a lot today, but we also have some other things. But we always like to start the show with Today in Gaming History. So Blabs, please fill us in on what happened today.
Okay, Blabs VI presents April 3rd, and we have Breath of the Fire from Japan, released in 1993.
Whoa, stop.
What?
It's just Breath of Fire, Blabs.
What did I say?
Breath of the Fire.
Listen. Blabs VI presents Breath of Fire, released in Japan in 1993. We have
It's like when your grandma calls it the Pizza Hut. You know?
That's right.
Yeah, the Taco Bell. Right, so the Kinect, Star Wars, guys, 2012, and Penny Punching Princess, released in 2018, making it 7 years old today. Shout out the Kinect, who remembers that?
I remember that. That was actually one of the things that some of the first VTubers were using as their camera.
Yeah, man. It was really cool technology. The problem with it is that nobody wanted it.
Yeah.
so there's that.
It failed.
Yeah, it was kind of rejected to have cord. That was spawned from the success of the Wii, where PlayStation had PlayStation Move and Xbox was like, we have Kinect, and they had, what was it, Kinectimals, I think is what it was called, where you could like pet the cats and such. Do you all remember this?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Oh, hold on, I got to pull this up and show this to you. But while doing that, Blab, some noticeable games that you missed today include The Simpsons Wrestling, released 24 years ago for the PlayStation right there. So that's a
okay.
pretty, don't be like that. Army Men, which was super fun game for the PlayStation 25 years ago.
Chocobo.
Yeah, and you see Romance of the Three Kingdoms 8 in Japan.
Wait, hold on. What is James Patterson's Women's Murder Club Death in Scarlet? That is a wild name.
Okay, so James Patterson's an author, so I'm assuming it's based off one of his books.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know anything
assuming.
about that, but the name has me very intrigued.
So it would be James Patterson, that's the author, and the Women's Murder Club, Death in Scarlet. So it's probably like some type of mystery PC game. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to remember that for later.
She's like, I'm totally gonna play it.
I'm interested.
So Blabs, I mentioned Connectimals. This is the Connect thing. This is totally a Blabs game. Totally
it?
You would have loved it if you would have had
Can
Connect.
somebody is it possible to still have a Connect and me play it?
No, they're all out. They're all out.
gone.
This was it. So you have in Connectimals. Here we go. You show up.
Connected camera? Am I crazy?
Yeah, it was a camera. It was a
Okay.
camera. And then you have the little kitty cats and stuff, and little dogs and little tigers and stuff come up. And guess what you do? You play with them. You play with them and you pet them.
And they don't eat you?
No. And they're all fun. It's just like a whimsical little kid game. And
That's adorable, actually.
Yeah, well, of course. That's what I said. It's a Blabs game. You would have loved it. You would have loved it.
I was gonna say I thought Connect was a camera, but you keep talking about Connectimals, and I'm like, what? Did I misremember the name?
I want to see if I can find the original E3 reveal of this because, here it is. Here it is right here. This was great. So this was back at E3. Check this out. 2010.
Skittles, where are you?
Oh my
By the way,
gosh.
this became
That's creepy.
Yeah, this was super memeable in 2010.
Is this like in a Silent Hill game or something?
There you go.
Skittles? Hi. Okay, get down now. Skittles, be careful. You okay? Good.
Oh my god.
You're my good Skittles. Yes, you
Oh,
are.
that's so wild!
Yeah,
That
you're
is pretty
like
cool.
that. Yes, you
Oh, this thing must have been so abused.
What, the lion or the
cat?
kid?
No, the whole function of what you can do with your hands and everything with the camera. No.
No. So
The e-thoughts must have loved this.
I wasn't on that side of the internet, Blabs. I don't know, but but I'll tell you this: this was a very memeable presentation for E3 back in 2010, 15 years ago. So
Hey, like, good for her. She was in E3, but it's funny.
Could
yeah.
the tiger bite you?
No, I don't think that was programmable in there. The tiger attack. They didn't have the Siegfried and Roy version of it. I'm sorry. So you play hide and seek with your tiger.
Don't tell me I'm hiding.
Did you hear the response from the crowd? It was like, "Shut up, kid." Yeah. So
Oh.
you missed a lot in your gaming history, Blabs, and I'm glad to be able to share.
Yeah, but
that
I
with
put
you
Star Wars Connect in there, so like, did I though?
Well, no, I mean, yes.
Did I?
Clearly.
Clearly not. I think you're just biased.
Yes, I am incredibly biased to Connect.
That's right. Justice for the Star Wars Connect.
All right. Hey, right off the bat, Mad Hatter says, buy Kirsche's Gamer Subs Waifu Cup. Help her get her own flavor. She should name her flavor Reddit Tears.
That's true. There were a lot of people trying to get me dropped from Gamer Subs when I announced my merch because I'm some sort of, racist, white supremacist Nazi.
Oh, okay. Well, now that we've established that, that's good to know. Thank you for that. Link down below to support Kirsche, which is good. Once again, use promo code FOXLADY over here on Side Scrollers Plus, which is great. Ian says, lol, that Mario thumbnail. Yeah, you like that? That's what we call AI generated, baby. Good stuff.
Baby.
Whoa, says Scuff Scrollers. Thank you for that. Give it up for Tenarian, who became a brand new Plus member. Love that. Appreciate that. Once again, use promo code FOXLADY to support Kirsche. Lord Spleech says, drop the price is being constantly spammed in the Nintendo Treehouse live chat right now. Montez! Yeah, we'll get to that for sure. Kyo something hideout. I'm sorry, I butchered that.
Kyogre, it's a Pokemon.
Oh, okay. Say it one more time. Sorry.
I say Kyogre, but I'm pretty sure it's Kyogre.
Kyogre's hideout. Thank you very much for making your hideout Side Scrollers Plus. That's outstanding. Thank you. Bullet Shepherd says, because y'all are late, I have no choice but to do a Kirsche.
Do not.
Brought this on yourself, Foxu. Thank
Do
you, Bold
not.
Shepherd. Look at this. Cerny Strife has come in with a $50 super chat. It says, I lost hype for Switch 2 with the price of games, plus some games that are, quote, physical, isn't really physical games, copy of the game, and more than just CD keys to download the game. With the rise of people wanting game preservation. Yeah, this is a big big line in the sand, I think, for a lot of people. And I think a lot of people feel really conflicted about Nintendo right now.
It's really weird to have the physical game be more expensive than the digital one. I mean, like, I guess in theory it makes sense because the digital one you don't have to make, like, a case or a CD or a booklet for or anything, but I don't know, it just kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, does it? So would you rather have them both, obviously at the same cost as digital, being lower, but I don't know. I actually love the idea that the digital is cheaper because all they're doing is just uploading a file and you just download that file to your thing,
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because, like, again, like I said, they don't have to pay more to make, like, the booklet or the case or the game disc itself. But, I mean, if they were going to make it cheaper, I would think that the digital be much cheap, like half the price of physical, right? Not like a $10 off kind of thing.
Right. Thank you very much, Sir Neof Strife. Greatly appreciate that support. Outstanding. Evil Mandrake says, everyone go buy a Kirsche cup, then buy a cup for your cup. Use code Kirsche for 10% off. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Sigrun says, speaking of the Kinect, that was a fun game. There was a fun game called Rise of Nightmares, which was a sort of rail shooter where you could punch zombies in the face. All right. Thanks, Sigrun. Appreciate that. Rise of the Nightmares. Sounds good. Marius says, Kinect Star Wars, the day Star Wars officially started dying. And Link Fan became a Plus member. Love to see that. Was says, just out of curiosity, have any of you seen the trailer for Primitive War? It's an action horror movie about dinosaurs set during the Vietnam War. Also, hello, funny fox lady. No. I've not seen Primitive War. Sounds spectacular.
I've not seen it either.
Sounds very interesting during Vietnam War.
Right. Oh, here's a deep cut. Phosphor says, is that Christmas Ghost Stuttering Craig? If you know, you know. Yeah, that's a very deep cut to an old Angry Video Game Nerd episode from a long, long time ago.
In the galaxy far, far away.
Yes.
The before times.
Nintendi Cuck Chair came in with the 10. Says, I love Nintendo Slop. I love my Bing Bing Wahoo so much. I took out a loan on my queen's boyfriend's credit card so I can be a femboy in 4K. I'll buy the Welcome Slop game. I will buy the upgrade packs. F you, Jared was better, and he had a better shroom. Wahoo!
Bing, bing, woohoo! I don't know who that guy is, but I liked his message.
Thank you, Nintendo Cuck Chair. All right. Mercenary says, okay, I just checked the Toys R Us receipts I had from the 80s that my mom's being... Wait, hold on. You have Toys R Us receipts just hanging around your house, Mercenary, from the 1980s?
You don't just save all of your receipts forever and keep them
Yeah.
organized in a filing cabinet?
I mean, I do that for my Harry Potter collection, but that's just the collection. It's not for anything else.
Oh, okay. All right. Just kind of, where is, there she is.
Weird.
It's
We knew-
mercenary.
Sure. Mercenary says she had in the 90s. Yeah, none of the video games that I bought back then with my allowance were anything more than $60 plus tax. In the 80s and 90s, again, where is the $90 coming from? Mercenary, it was there, buddy. It was there. And I experienced it. There's tons of pictures of it online. Games were expensive back then. It's not really an argument. It was definitely a thing. So Joey came in and says, I honestly feel very conflicted with Nintendo. I'm a lifelong fan of Nintendo, but with the pricing they presented for the games and console, it shows the corporate greed the industry has been plagued with for several years. Joey, you're not alone, man. You're not alone in that.
I think the biggest issue is just like everyone's push to go digital in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember having issues with this, not so much being digital, but when the PlayStation 3 came out, the initial launch of the PS3 had backwards compatibility to be able to play like the PlayStation 2 and 1 games on it.
Uh-huh.
But then for some reason they decided no more of the PS3 consoles are going to have backwards compatibility. And I was like, that seems like this was my first entry into the, well, why are they trying to get rid of the older games? Because it didn't make any sense that they wanted people to no longer be able to play the discs that they owned from PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. And then they started putting these older games in the PlayStation Store and encouraging you to buy it, a second time. And it's like, well, why would I buy a game I already own when I have the physical CD, and if I buy it on your store, it's only a digital copy?
You know who I blame this all on? The buying of the same game over and over and over again?
Larry Fink.
No, I blame it on Capcom and Street Fighter 2. Because back in the 90s, you had Street Fighter 2, then you had Street Fighter 2 Champions Edition, then you had Super Street Fighter 2, then you had Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. They had multiple editions of that game, and everybody just slopped that up. And I'm one of them. It was before like expansions and DLC were a thing, so they would just release a new version of the game, and everyone would go and they'd buy it. It was the king.
Well, it's kind of like the sports games as well, right? Where they just release the same game every year, but with like slightly different characters.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. It could just be DLC. Could be a downloaded update for sure. Dirtus King says not a defense, but standing Nintendo policy is to have each console sale make money. They said in their investor call the Switch lost money on sales. They probably want to not bleed money for the console. Missing Dejin says, Nintendo doing this is kind of cringe, but I'll have to wait and see if I can get it through a place where I can pay off every month. $500 with a game is a bit steep for most people right now. Yeah, I definitely understand.
Yeah, everything is just so expensive right now. Like, I definitely understand people being angry about the price because it's like, well, we're getting hammered everywhere else just for cost of living. Expecting us to now pay more for a game as well is just kind of like a straw that broke camel's back,
Right.
Right.
All the while our salaries are not going up, right?
Right.
Most people are just stagnant for years now where everything else is increasing.
Including me, who has yet to make any money from this. I brought that up. I should probably start paying myself for the show. I should probably start doing that. Zim came into the 10, says over on Plus or PLSU.
Yeah,
says,
I can't spell today, so we rebranded. Please, tabarnak.
Says Fox Lady gonna make a drink flavor? Is it soggy seat towel? I'll take it.
Yeah, one of the cool things about Gamer Subs, this is my first merch drop with them, but as a creator, if enough of my specific branded cup with them sells, then I get my own flavor with them as well that people will be able to buy.
We back at Game Attack, we had a similar situation with G Fuel, I think. Yeah, they want you to prove it before they'll give you the goods.
They want you to prove that you can move merchandise, as it were.
Make us a few $1,000s before we put in the process right there.
It's actually really neat because of how much the revenue split is between like myself and Gamer Subs when people use code Kirsche, as it were. So if you use code Kirsche on my merch, the way that like the royalties and the revenue split are, I actually end up making more money than they do when you use my code.
Hell yeah, let's go. Love that.
Hell yeah.
Willing Through Life with Brian says digital games should be cheaper because you don't have to deal with the cost of putting the game in on a CD, packaging, etc. PlayStation, Xbox should adopt this. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate that. And Missing Jin came back, says people should try Azahar, the 3DS emulator, playing on my phone at 3x resolution. I also own all the games. I have emulation, so it's not pulling a Barbosa YouTube. Thank you, Missing Jin. Appreciate that. All right, we are going to hit Montez today. I can feel it. But we have a lot to talk about. We're going to spend a lot of time on Nintendo today. A lot of time. But before we do have some other things going on. So we want to hit those first. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. Ooh, it's time for Hard News. All right. We wanted to start here. This was a follow-up on our conversation we had last week with the wonderful Jennifer Say, who is the president of XXXY Athletics, which, Kirsche, have you heard about this brand before?
I have not.
Blaz, why don't you give Kirsche a quick recap of it?
Right, so she's a former U.S. gymnast for America, and then she was fired from Levi's, the jean company, for wrong thinking, or like we don't really know the fine details. However, she and Levi's no longer are working together, and she started up XXXY Athletics that are basically pro women in sports, right? So it's all like keep trans women out of women's sports, things like that, and the other day I saw this video that really kind of pissed me off. So it was basically there was a fencing competition. There was a woman versus a trans woman. And the woman took a kneel to protest. And she was automatically disqualified to protest against a trans woman playing in her competition.
So
that's really silly.
Lady on the right, guy pretending to be lady on the left. Turner over here. And they square up. She kneels down, says, I ain't doing it.
I mean, even with the tide turning in current year, this still takes, like, courage to do, because you're going to be just harangued for standing up for yourself and other women here.
Right. So, and that's exactly what's happened. So she was disqualified from competing in the event in its entirety, Blabs. Is that correct?
I don't know if it's the entirety. Honestly probably would be, given, how upside down the world is. But it's just so full of shit that this trans woman is allowed to be like, haha, I win, basically, because, disqualified. Yeah, that's our timeline right now.
It's not looking very good over on X for USA Fencing here, as they decided to put a post here, and they've been thoroughly ratioed to hell down here with just getting wrecked in their comments. As you'd expect. So there's that.
As you'd expect. Yeah, that was a large part of why people were trying to get me dropped from gamer subs as well, is because I had been talking about autogynephilia more openly on Twitter, and apparently, that's still a no-no thing to some activists.
Oh, so the activists have issues with you talking about it? Okay. It's like, of course they do. And then we had this as well. This is quite insane. Go ahead, Blabs. I'll let you lead this.
Well, this one Kirsche sent us just now. So, trans-identified male athlete calls for cancellation of tennis league after removal from women's category. I think that title explains everything. Wow.
Imagine being told you can't play against biological women, and so you want, like, the entire league to just cease existing.
Wait, that's him? The mustache man?
I guess so. Yeah,
Oh my
it's
God.
him from 2021.
Listen, you leave that woman's mustache alone, all right?
Wow.
I mean, he's just really Italian.
Wow.
Bada boom, hey, let's go. Every time he hits it, he's swinging out, hey, pasta, hey, linguine. Right, Blabs?
Shut up.
Okay. But this also apparently comes over to the gaming space. Well, I haven't even looked at this, Kirsche. What's going on with this?
This was something that was in the Bridge Smart Brief, and I've talked about a handful of times how Bridge and other, oh god, my cat. How Bridge and other companies have talked about how important it is to, break into gaming with DEI messaging and also have content creators be a part of the work that they're trying to do, because content creators naturally have a higher trust threshold with their audience than regular celebrities. And that's something that can be utilized as a tool when trying to spread the DEI messaging. And so this article popped up, and I haven't read it yet, so this is brand new to me as well. Someone named Titus Walker tackling the gaming industry's inequality. UEL Esports, which is, I haven't heard of them, founder draws powerful parallels between hip-hop's evolution and gaming's accessibility challenges while building pathways for underrepresented communities. And I feel like if there's one place we really don't need any of this injected, it's the gaming sphere. No. Well, this is the Ultimate Endgamers League. I just found them over on X, and they're not exactly a bustling. End gamer. You said the ultimate end gamer, and I was like, I'm sorry, the what, Craig?
This is the world's only esports leagues playing 30 plus different games in one match: shooting, fighting, sports, strategy, racing. Earn a part of UEL at Start Engine. So
what does that even mean?
I have no idea. but they have 28,000 followers on Instagram and does not really look like it's respected. So there's definitely been money put into this thing. Here's their website here, and it looks like they have teams and stuff. I've never heard of this before ever.
Yeah.
But you can see the games that they play. This sounds very similar to kind of an event that I used to do back in the day called the Iron Man of Gaming, where they just take a bunch of games, and the idea is you're not just good at one genre, but you got to play all different genres of games.
No, there's an invest now button. You can invest in them.
Well, let's see how much it costs to invest. Oh, did I say get equality? I swear it did.
What the heck?
There we go. Let's see. There we go. To do virtual view opportunity. Let's see what the opportunity to invest in. Get equity. Here we are. 27 days left. Previously crowdfunded $2 million. Jesus Louise.
What the hell?
Okay.
That's crazy.
All right. So money laundering. Got it. Sounds good. Understand. Well,
Good Lord.
It's clear that there's been a culture shift. We all see it. We all understand it. But it's not over. You guys need to understand that we're not out of the woods yet. And this type of stuff is happening in fencing and games and everywhere else. Freaking tennis in New York City of all things. So this will definitely continue as we go along. Now, there was one last thing here. Bridge is obviously, you've been talking about this for a long time. And what's going on with this nice imagery here?
So since the start of this year, Cheryl Dijja has been putting out buzz newsletters at the beginning of each month. And as they've been advising companies on how to get around the executive orders and how the executive orders actually don't even matter for most private corporations, they're only going to be for corporations in the federal sector or receiving federal funding. This is the newest Bridge buzz. Over the past month, each week, Bridge has published guidance from Project Forward, which is their new initiative, to provide critical updates on the industry to executive orders and legislative developments, featuring legal interpretations from Stacey Hawkins, diversity and employment practices consultant and Rutgers professor of law, and Jessica Golden Cortez, partner labor employment group at Davis and Gilbert. And this is a list of 10 things that Cheryl Dijja believes is important to stay pragmatic and focused, because you shouldn't be reactionary. You shouldn't just change things immediately because the landscape has become scary, and the legal landscape especially has become, you have to think of all the different ways you might get sued for being discriminatory, as it were.
Right.
So her list of 10 things that you should be doing as a company to preserve your DEI is in the same way that all business practices evolve, there should be no stigma attached to evolving DEI practices. Despite the collision with politics, the evolution of DEI practices should be subject to the same rigor as other business practices. Figure out what's working and what isn't, strengthen its attachment to business impact and mitigating risk. And they talk about being in compliance with existing laws, and there's definitely ways that they like wordsmith and try to like weasel around the way things are worded. Like, well, it says this, but that doesn't mean you have to do that. You can just word it slightly differently to get around it. Down.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, as I'm just kind of glancing at some of these things, and it says, an executive order is a directive. It does not have to force the law, right? This is like, it feels like they're grasping at this point. Well, look, we know culture's shifting and like the grift is up type of thing. So please continue to support what we're doing here.
This is also part of the weasel wording, right? Because they are technically correct, which is the best kind of correct, actually. So the executive order is something that like the federal government has to follow, and it can be used as a lawful thing, but based on the wording of the executive orders, it does not apply to the private sector. So someone like Ben and Jerry's wouldn't have to pay attention to anything the executive orders say because they don't receive, to my knowledge, government funding. And executive orders, they're also correct, can be overturned. So if they make it through these 4 years, subverting the DEI wording, getting around all these legal challenges put in front of them, after these 4 years, if we get a president in that isn't, the same as Donald Trump or thinks the same as people on the right, they can just get rid of these executive orders and everything goes back to more of the same. So it's an unfortunate thing, but they're just like, don't panic. things will get better. You have to stay committed to the work. And then part of tackling the EEOC, the Equal Employment Commission, they put out a lot of good information, and I would urge everyone who hates DEI to go to the EEOC's website and read their new DEI nonsense, because they want people who have DEI at their workplace to be able to file complaints with the EEOC. If you feel your workplace has DEI and it has used it to discriminate against you or someone else, the EEOC wants you to report this. They want you to report instances of the DEI work being done at your job. And I'm so glad that the EEOC put this wording in, because I know a lot of people who are just like, well, I just have to check these boxes. I don't want to lose my job. Like, I'm a white male. No one's going to listen to me. I have no recourse. I'm just one guy. What can I do? So the EEOC putting out this wording being like, this is what you can do. You have recourse. We're listening to you. Reverse discrimination isn't real. It's just discrimination. It's great to have this sort of like, you know, shining light in the dark of all of this over-encompassing DEI nonsense everywhere. And just like, you know, Marxists do, like number 7 down here, the assertion that merit-based hiring is contrary to DEI practices is a false narrative. DEI practitioners have not advocated for hiring unqualified individuals. The role of DEI is to break the systemic structures that have historically excluded qualified talent and expand opportunities to those who have been arbitrarily denied access. Merit and DEI have never been mutually exclusive. And we all know the fake correlation of like two completely equal candidates. They're trying to weasel word the fact that they're not hiring people simply based on immutable characteristics. We know they are. Everyone with a brain knows they are. But they have to word it in special ways to like make sure they don't get sued for doing something that is inherently discriminatory.
You know, it definitely feels to me like, just based off the weasel wording and everything, it definitely feels like with that there's obviously the shift is there, but it feels like they are grasping. And if they can just make it those 4 years, if they can just do it, we'll be all right. You know, as you mentioned, you know, someone who aligns their ideology. So, well, appreciate the good work you do on that and keeping an eye on all that. You've been definitely the leader in the clubhouse as far as, you know, letting people know about what's going on with Bridge and the rebranding of DEI and all that. So.
Absolutely. I'm just happy that I can, like, instead of talking about like, here's all the ways they're subverting everything, here's all the ways we're not winning, and people who are telling you DEI is going away are lying to you, I'm happy I can finally come with something that's like, look, I know everything seems like a pit of despair with what I talk about as far as this goes, but the EEOC is doing something. You now have recourse. Start filing with them. Start making these DEI practitioners at your job not feel like they're safe to continue doing this. Bring in the investigations, man.
Bring them on, baby. All right. We're going to move over to the Nintendo talk because we're going to do this for quite a bit. So appreciate you guys popping in. If you guys are just getting here, first time tuning in, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Of course, hit the thumbs up button. That greatly helps discoverability over on YouTube. Leave a comment if you're watching on the after we're live. And most importantly, head over to sidescrollersplus.com. You can use promo code PLUS, or if you like to support Kirsche over on Side Scrollers Plus, you can use promo code FOXLADY, and she gets some of the cut, which is great. So head on over there, use promo code FOXLADY on an annual membership, and that money goes to Kirsche, which is great. CG Hero came in at the 10, says Nintendo's been a greedy, evil company for years now, just like Capcom. People have just been giving them a pass because their games are mostly decent. I think nostalgia tie is a big part of that for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Scott says, sorry to hear about being dropped from the Magic Wand sponsorship, Fox Lady.
I made an April Fool's joke about having a sponsorship with the Hitachi Magic Wand.
C. Thomas came in and says, for half the price of a game, I got a cup of my cup with a side of Montez. Also, ahoy ahoy, Foxu and the Corsche.
Buy a cup for your cup using code Kirsche at Gamersubs.
Tenarian came in with 10, says, one of the advantages of living way out in the ocean is that I can go fishing and thus save money on food. What happened to Kirsche? Oh, no.
My hair was tickling my ears, so I had to reposition my headset.
Okay. More money for the Switch 2 and retro games. There you go, Tenarian. Appreciate that. Tenarian also came in and says, living here in the Faroe Islands, way out in the ocean, far from it. He says, everything isn't cheap, but I'm making good money right now. So I'm getting the Switch 2 on day one. It's the only current system that I care for anyways. It's all Switch and retro systems for me. Thanks,
I'm
Tenarian.
pretty sure I have a guy in my community who also lives on the Faroe Islands, and he's a pilot.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's crazy.
Maybe
that's a small island.
Maybe that's Tenarian right there. Who knows?
A different guy. That's why I was saying it's crazy. Like two people from the same, small place.
Yeah, you guys should say hello. Dirtus King says Nintendo is getting stick for $80 games, and several of Nintendo exclusives were $70 already. Still have no idea where the $89 rumors are coming from, as the prices seem to cap out at $80. Yeah, I mentioned that yesterday. I mentioned that last night to some parents. We'll get to that. I saw the 90 several times. I think it had to do with Europe's pricing over there, 90 pounds. So that's kind of where I saw it. So it does not look to be true for the physical side. I saw physical was 90 and digital was 80. Still getting clarity on that. Right now, it's just the games are listed as $80. They haven't said physical and digital, at least as far as I could tell. Maybe we'll get to that a little bit later. So
man, I remember when the $90 was like the pre-order. You got to play 3 days early. You got like a nice full color art book. You got like a statuette, maybe a binder. You got a bunch of stuff for paying that much, man.
Used to be. Times have changed. That's right. Give it up for the Archon, who became a Plus member. Love that. Thank you very much. Appreciate your support over on Plus. Winston came in and says, being a Kino Casino fan for some time, I was willing to give DSB a chance, but Craig, you are 100% right. Phil is a man-child loser. The casino exhausted their last chances on him too, and have since seen him for what he is. Yes,
I thought like nobody liked Phil. I thought he was like, everybody just hate watched out of pure, wonder and curiosity.
I think that's generally his audience, and there's a very select few of folks. I was listening to somebody yesterday talk about just an interview in general, right? You know what it was? It was a wrestling podcast talking about an interview that another wrestling podcast did, and the guy who is hosting it, he is like an on-screen presenter, is what he's done for a long time. And he's talking about how you can do an interview, right? On an interview, you can press somebody and risk the idea of that interview ending shortly because the person doesn't want to continue, or you can just let them talk and eventually they'll hang themselves, right? And that's
like that one.
Me too. That's
my interview strategy.
You just let them go, because ultimately, if you give them enough rope, hang themselves in Minecraft. Mm-hmm. Was says, just a suggestion for the GamerSup's flavor name, Unseen Juice, for when you really want to forget what just happened. All right, Was, let's make it weird. Henry says, for Montez and the TMT Oprah kid. Let's go. Thanks, Henry. Appreciate it. Nice cut right there. Marius says, did someone say Montez? Marius, we did. Congratulations. Before we even get to Nintendo, let's do some Montez fun, Kirsche. Where would you like? Would you like Street Fighter?
Do we have a new one?
Well, we have Tetris, Mike Tyson, and Duck Hunt. Those are the newest ones we have.
I want Mike Tyson.
Bitch!
I didn't know that Mario moonlighted as a referee at punching fights.
Yeah. This is a big deal back in the 80s. He appeared in a lot of games. It's good stuff. All right. I'm adding another Montez goal because why not? Montez number 2, that is up and ready to go right now. Excellent. Okay, cool. All right, let's talk about Nintendo here. The last day or so has been interesting to say the least. Nintendo, I thought, had a really good presentation. They showed off a lot of positive things yesterday. I was all on board with what was being thrown down on the Switch. 2, until we found out how much everything was going to cost. And that's been a big, I would say, a big point of contention across the internet. Some people are fine with it. Some people are not. For me, once again, I want to clarify my statement. You know what? I think it's actually better if I clarify my statement myself, because I think let me just show this video of me yesterday talking about this. And I think this is the best, most concise way of me describing my statement in 90 seconds. So, and how I feel about things. So let's just play this really fast, just for a total recap of everybody. And look at Blabs wearing her hat over there. I thought that the Nintendo Direct was really solid. My only concern is the price point, not the fact that the games are $90 or $80. It's the fact that they were $60 and $70. I think from a generic consumer perspective, your mom and dad who are buying those games, going in and looking at those games, when you're at Target and you're looking at the Switch games that are $60 and you look at the Switch 2 games that are $90, I think that the average parent is going to look to the Switch 1. I think it's just strictly about sticker shock. It has nothing to do with the pricing. Yes, I get the inflation argument. I totally understand it. Games back in the day, they were all sorts of crazy expensive. I was there. I experienced it. But from a sticker shock perspective, it's something that has to be considered. I'm sure Nintendo's already done that. But I'm sure that they know that they can price their games at $80 and $90. But that doesn't justify it. No, it has nothing to do with tariffs. Because if tariffs were a part of it, then they should have said that. They say, hey, tariffs made us increase our price to $90. The digital will now still say be $60 or $70. But that's not what they did. So I don't want to hear about the tariffs. It's a non-issue. It's a fail-safe. It is something that is just being thrown out there by people who don't know what they're talking about. It has nothing to do with tariffs. So that's my overall thoughts on it. I am looking forward to the games. Will I end up buying one? I don't know. I think a lot of people will be in the wait and see camp for sure. So there's my thoughts on that. 90 seconds, real quick, real brief. I don't think that's a crazy thought by any means. Kirsche, what were your thoughts on the Switch 2 after we saw it yesterday?
I mean, I also think that the majority of the issue with the price is, again, simply everything is just so expensive now. We're getting hit everywhere with higher prices. Like, people can't afford homes, grocery prices have been insane. And so seeing something that we've reliably been paying, $60 for over a decade-ish, go up, like, everyone is going to freak out about it. When I look at, like, a price breakdown, right? Because I had the same opinion. I was like, why the fuck is it so expensive? That doesn't make any sense. This is pure greed. I wasn't blaming tariffs because I didn't think that had anything to do with it. But it seems like, unfortunately, this price kind of falls in line with the average wage that people had with other games. And so, like, the increase from a purely numbers point of view, which is probably what the suits are looking at, makes sense. But I don't think once you take into account how expensive everything is overall, it makes sense at all. And I feel like they shouldn't have changed the prices.
Well, we'll get into the prices here a little bit deeper, specifically to the games as well. That's become a little more clear. There have been some outlets that have released pre-order numbers and pre-order prices and such for these games. But first and foremost, let's talk about pre-order info for this. You can get this over at Best Buy. Pre-orders for the console games, accessories begin next week, April 9th, on Best Buy mobile apps and the website. Most stores will be open for a midnight launch. So that's pretty cool. We got the midnight launch thing. I didn't know if we'd have a midnight launch for anything. So April 9th. I guess
when midnight launches were like actually a big deal, Like, people would have like little parties and stuff, and like they would camp out to like buy the consoles. Like, that doesn't happen anymore.
I do think that this will be a big deal. I think this one will be like one of the last. Now, I went and picked up Mario Wonder at a midnight launch, and I thought that was the last physical game that I would actually buy. I love physical games, but I kind of saw the direction of this going, where this was going. But I do think that this will be like a big launch for sure. When this big midnight thing with people staying in line and such. This was kind of an interesting tidbit that came out yesterday. Did you know that there was a lot of talk about like what to name this console? Was it going to be the Switch? Was it going to be the Super Switch? And apparently Nintendo did consider calling the Switch 2 the Super Nintendo Switch, but ultimately decided not to do that. So
I wonder why.
Do you like Switch 2 or Super Nintendo Switch more?
I think Super Nintendo Switch would have like felt better for branding than just the Switch 2.
I get that. I think that when you go back to like the original Nintendo Entertainment System, right? And then they called the next one the Super Nintendo. You get optically why it's called the Super Nintendo. It's a better version of the Nintendo, right? And that's pretty much what this is. But I think the issue with that is when they make a Switch 3, what do they call it? The Mega Switch?
That's when they make something completely different, right? Because you had the Nintendo DS, you had the 3DS, and then like they went to the Switch after that, didn't they? There wasn't something like after the 3DS. They made like a larger screen size one, but I wouldn't really count that as a completely different like console.
Well, so they had the Wii U in between, and the Wii U was...
I forgot about the Wii U.
Yeah, everybody did, yeah. And
I didn't. I still have mine.
Wii U like to play.
that was the Wii. What I don't think it was a Wii U.
That
like
was
to
the
play.
Wii. Will you like to play was the original Wii.
The Wii U was somebody please come play with us, please.
As a certified graphics whore, I did not buy any Nintendo consoles after the DS and the 3DS. Those were Those were it.
That's it. Well,
when I was a console fan, I was a Sony fan because graphics whoredom.
Well, they have improved the graphics all the way up to PlayStation 5 launch graphics now, which is good. So we're still a few years back, but we'll get to that in a second. We did see this. Ricky Berwick was very excited about it in particular, about a particular game that was launched or at least announced yesterday. Check this out. Did you see this game?
No.
Hey!
That's him.
Hey!
That's literally him.
Hey! Now that's my game. I can get behind that. Drag X Drive. It's a wheelchair cripple game. That's what I'm talking about. It's a game for cripples. Yes.
Very excited for that
A
one.
very special game for very special people.
Oh man, that's awesome. Blabs, can we get just the very last little clip of that? Just I don't know why. Maybe we'll just use it for other games in the future. Just get his face saying,
It's a game for cripples.
Yeah, I feel like you get a lot of mileage out of that one.
I do. I think that'll be good. Also a game for cripples. Coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. Star Wars Outlaws. So that's coming soon as well.
We're saved.
Yeah, congratulations.
Is anyone
I'm sure it's
excited for that?
No, it just makes me laugh how like that is the one thing Ubisoft puts on like their newsletter in the last few days. We're going to, Switch 2, not Tencent, not layoffs. Switch 2.
Don't notice the Chinese money.
Oh.
Did you see, Kirsche, the Welcome Tour game that Nintendo is offering? Essentially their demo for how the Switch is used. So during this, they have what they're calling it the Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. And it says, explore new system through tech demos, mini games, and quizzes with Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. A paid downloadable launch title for Nintendo Switch 2. So,
who would pay for that?
Correct. Now, this was, I think, the thing for a lot of folks. People were like, "Yeah, I don't know about that. I can't. Not doing that."
Like even if it was only like $2, who would pay for like a welcome tour demo thing? Like that's so dumb.
So I found this very interesting. This is from Washington Post video game critic Gene Park, who I'm sure is very stable, says Reggie had to convince Miyamoto and Nintendo to include Wii Sports as a free pack-in in a game for the Wii. According to his book, Reggie said Nintendo simply doesn't believe that they should give away their hard work for free, but they relented for the Wii because it was such a new concept.
Demos always used to be free. Like, you could go and buy a PlayStation 1 game and they would give you a demo disc with like Tomb Raider and Croc and stuff on it. Like, you could play like an hour of multiple games. Like, what is this logic?
I understand the idea of wanting to be paid for your hard work. I get it, wanting to be compensated for it, right? But when it comes to literally a tech demo, I don't know, man. I don't know who can get behind this. This will probably be $10, probably, most likely, if I was to put. But this is.
I want to give them faith, and I want to say 5, right? Like, I want to have a little faith that maybe they're not that retarded, and they'll make it like $5. And that's still too much. It should be free. And right, like, I agree with you. I agree that, like, you know, understanding the concept of wanting to be paid for your hard work. But again, game demos have always existed. And this isn't even a game demo. It's a tech demo. So it makes it even, like, less valuable.
Mm-hmm. So I think we can all agree on that. And here's the problem. Will you actually be able to get through the tech demo before your Switch 2 dies? Because apparently the battery life will last only between 2 hours and 6.5 hours. That is half of the original Switch 1.
How? Also, between 2 and 6.5 is a large freaking gap. Like, that is monstrous. Yes. How do you have that large of a gap in, like, your predicted battery life?
But I don't know. Apparently, I saw that. I think I saw Melee Games tweet that it would take 3.5 hours to fully charge your battery. And for you to only get 2 hours of it, it's like a 1-to-1 ratio.
What the fuck? That's so dumb. Yeah. I don't remember how much battery life my 3DS had, but I feel like that thing could go for a pretty freaking long time.
Saw in the chat, PR Chingon says, "Well, you wanted better graphics." Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but that's why I just don't use handhelds, man. I'm PC Master Race.
Well, did you know that Nintendo is currently showing off some of their games on to a live stream called Nintendo Treehouse? This is happening right now, Kirsche, and we've talked about the price of the console a lot. Let's just check in on the chat here to see what's happening over here. Let's just stop it at a random spot. Here
Drop the price.
Drop the price. This is in real time what we're seeing here.
You love to see it.
People are not happy. Drop the price. Now it's become a meme. The only question is, will Nintendo listen?
See, this is going back to... Oh, did you want to play it? I can make my comment after.
Say it one more time?
Oh, I didn't know if you were trying to play the Treehouse thing.
That. Hold on. Go ahead, Kirsche, what were we saying?
If you wanted to play the Treehouse thing, I can just make my comment after.
No. I'm going to close it because it's taking up so much memory.
I was saying this goes back to what I was saying earlier, where like the price increase is sort of in line with what wages are. So like in 1987 or whatever, the games at that price for $59.99 are equal to the price increase that they've done now. So on paper it makes sense, but in theory, again, everything is, or like in practice, not in theory. In practice, everything is so much more expensive now. And so, like, once people are no longer able to afford the basic things of living, we no longer have, like, the hope of affording a home. Our groceries take so much goddamn money now. And so all we have, right, to keep us occupied is the circus. And our circus in current year, mostly, is, like, video game kind of stuff. If we get outpriced of our entertainment as well, what is left? People that can no longer afford bread or circus are more likely to revolt, because when they have nothing to lose. And so, like, these steady price increases everywhere, I feel like, are just, it's not an isolated thing, it's part of a larger stranglehold on everyone in general.
Interesting. Yeah, I hear you on that. I hear you, and we're going to get into the price of this really quickly. But first, I actually want to show I want to talk about the games, the price, but I want to show some of the ways that Nintendo is adding anti-scalper measures, because it doesn't matter what the price is if you can't buy one, right? Because we all know that's going to happen. Scalpers are going to come in and buy a shit ton of them, and they're going to try to sell them on eBay or do whatever they can, right? But Nintendo is thinking about this, and they have added anti-scalper measures for the Switch 2 pre-order invites. So first off, you need to be invited to get it. You can't just go pre-order it, which is funny. But What do you think Nintendo could do? Have you seen this, Kirsche?
No, I haven't seen anything about it, but I mean, scalpers deserve a bullet, to be fair.
Well, apparently customers, in order to pre-order and be a part of the pre-order invites for the Switch 2, customers must have purchased Nintendo Switch Online membership for at least 12 months.
Holy.
And played 50 plus gameplay hours on Switch 1.
I think like the 12 months is a bit much, but the rest of it, like, yeah, kind of based. Fuck scalpers.
It's interesting. I've never seen a company do that. And I like, how do you track that? Like, do you have to show up with your Switch when you're doing this and be like, here you go, look at my stuff?
I mean, I guess you give them your online membership name, right? Because I'm sure there's a screen name attached to it. Again, I don't play on the Switch, so.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about, you're talking about the prices of these games, right?
Yes.
So let's actually, there's an interesting table here. This looks straight out of ChatGPT, by the way. I think
it was Grok. I think they plugged the information into Grok to get all the numbers.
So here is what we're talking about. This is the price of games versus consoles and the time frame and such, and the adjusted price to 2025. You said this was put together by somebody you know here?
Yeah. Someone I know.
Okay, so you can see the Switch 2 here, the price adjusted for inflation, $449. The original Switch adjusted for inflation, $387. The Sega Genesis adjusted for inflation, $499. Super Nintendo, $433. PlayStation 4. And by the way, I remember when, you know what's not on here is the PlayStation 3. I would love to see the PlayStation 3.
I would have loved to see the 3 as well.
Yeah. Blabs, see if you can use Grok to do that. See what the PlayStation 3...
I mean, even without the 3, I think this is a good spread of like years and what their prices adjusted for inflation are, especially when you look at like the Genesis, how much that leaped up. Like that is a crazy increase.
Yeah. Blabs, see if you can add PlayStation 3 and the PS5 Pro as well. Just curious. And you know what? We also add the Neo Geo, because the Neo Geo was like, even I think if I recall correctly, I thought the Neo Geo was like $700 or $800 in the 90s. It was stupid. Yeah. But with all this said,
I just did it real fast. PlayStation 3 would be like $957 if it was the 60 gigabyte one, or like the 20 gigabyte PlayStation 3 would be $797 for 2025.
Wow. So the PS3, not from memory, yes, was $600. It was stupid expensive, and you said adjust for inflation, that was $900.
Yeah, for 60 gigabyte would be $957.
Can you look for the Neo Geo really quick?
Yeah.
Just curious what that. I bet that's probably worth $2,500 in today's money. Can you imagine a console coming out for?
And my dad bought me one of those for Christmas, man. That's so much money. And there were so few games for the PS3 because I just played, all my PS2 games basically still, because PS2 had so many games on it. And I used my PS3 as like a glorified space heater in the winter because it was like cheaper to run the PS3 than to actually run like more heat.
That's awesome.
So Grok says for inflation for 2025 for the Neo Geo would be $1,543.65.
Ow.
What the hell?
That's crazy. The chat is asking you to do the 3DO as well. That's just, yeah. All right. Now, what's interesting about this, so my daughters are athletic. They go out and play sports, so they're on sports teams. Last night, my daughter was at a practice, and I got a couple guys who know what I do. They occasionally tune in. Hey guys, what's up? And we were talking about the Switch 2, and I was like, hey, have you heard about this? Have you heard anything about it? And they're like, oh, it looks like, I saw some of the games. One of the guys saw the Donkey Kong game. And I was like, well, what are your thoughts on the price of the games? And I put this tweet out here. I said, I asked the parents at my kid's sports practice tonight if they knew the Switch 2 games could be between $80 and $90. Every one of them, all 11 of them, said that it would deter them from getting their kids a Switch 2, and they'd stick with the Switch 1. It's a small sample size, but worth noting. So
yeah, like anecdotal evidence is not fact, but it's still a interesting scale to work off of.
Now, like I said, I was going off the $90. That's what we heard yesterday. But the general thought was exactly what I thought. $80. The sticker shock associated with that. Like I told one of the dads, like, well, what do you think of they announced they announced Mario Kart for $80. And he goes, what? Like, what? $80 for a video game? And
it's a lot.
It is, and it goes back to he's like he literally said I was just paying $60 for a video game. So like there's that sticker shock that I was talking about. Blabs, you got an update on that 3DO?
Yeah, so Grok says it's $1,588.75.
Ooh, wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, video games were expensive for sure. We all understand that. But what about the Switch 2 games? We have this. Oh, first and foremost, we have the updates because you can now have your Switch games played on the Switch 2, and there will be some free updates as long as you have Nintendo Switch Online, which is a service. So here are the games: ARMS, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. I like that game more. Link's Awakening, Mario Odyssey, Mario 3D World and Bowser, Echoes of Wisdom, and several Pokemon games, as well as New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. That's interesting. The idea that New Super Mario Bros. U, which was a Wii U game, got ported to the Switch and will actually make it onto the Switch 2 as well. It's kind of odd.
I'm actually okay with that. Preserve the Wii U games in some capacity.
We know you have a lot of love for them.
Well, I don't have a lot of love. I prefer the Wii, but it's just I like preserving video games as a whole. I think this is not a bad thing.
I mean, I think it's good that it's a free update as well, because again, my like big thing with PlayStation was that they stopped backwards compatibility, and so like if I wanted to play Gex on my PlayStation 4, I had to buy it again. If I wanted to play on the PlayStation 5, depending on how I bought it, I might have to buy it again. Digital games are very convenient, and obviously I own a pretty thick Steam library, but I don't like the idea of not truly owning the games that I buy. I prefer to have physical if I can, and I really dislike the large push towards everything should be digital. We want you to rebuy your physical copies as a digital kind of thing. Yeah,
totally understand that. Let's talk about some of the pricing here. So in Canada, Nintendo Switch 2, thanks to Kay for bringing this up, Switch 2 and the Mario Kart World Bundle will be 699 Canadian monies up there. God. Yoicks. In Australia, the pricing looks like it's going to be $699. That's just for the Nintendo Switch 2. That is not the bundle. So
it's nuts. I don't know a single Australian who's going to go buy this. They all said it was way too much and not reasonable.
It's way too much.
$770 for the bundle.
Wild.
Right here. Over here on the States, we've talked about the games, and this was kind of one of the things that I really pushed. I talked about the variety of game prices in the 90s. You'd have games that were $20 and some games that were $80. But for the most part, they were between $40 and $50, right? Some people pointed out that we are seeing the cost of some of these games that are the manufacturer suggested retail price. Right here, we see Mario Kart World down here. This is the $80 one right here. The updated Switch 2 version of Zelda is $70. That's Breath of the Wild, and then the Tears of the Kingdom, which was the newer one, is $80. And if you want to buy Mario Party Jamboree for the Switch 2, that's also $80 here. So three $80 games here. We have a re-release, $70. The new Donkey Kong will be $70. Street Fighter 6, $60. The new Kirby game is $80. So it looks like any new property that you're getting from Nintendo, any quote-unquote Nintendo game that's new, that's going to be $80, y'all.
Well, the rumor apparently is that Nintendo isn't forcing standardized pricing, so the developers of the games are able to set the prices they want the games to be, and that's the speculation why Breath of the Wild went up, Tears of the Kingdom went up, Kirby I guess has an expansion pack that's included, and that's why that went up. Bravely Default is only $40, and Street Fighter with 2 DLCs is only $60 in comparison. And this is why the rumors that Nintendo's not forcing the standardized pricing, and the devs are able to set the price. So the ones that are astronomically higher are the ones that went up. That's not Nintendo enforcing a price. That's the developers increasing it themselves.
Right. Well, Nintendo is the developer of a lot of these games, so we'll kind of see how that, obviously comes together with $80 being the standard. But let's talk about what you're paying for. Like when you buy specifically an upgraded version of Zelda for the Switch 2. I saw this and this was kind of interesting. This was not shown on the Direct. There's like an iPhone app or like a phone app that you can get that actually will help you go through your Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom games. And they have new in-game memories. Now, what are in-game memories? I'll just kind of let this play. They're part of the story. So here you go as you're playing through. Pull this up.
When you visit certain places, you can hear voice memories.
My study. I found a silent princess in a corner of this desolate room. How many years?
These are stories that weren't in the original games. Voice memories can be located using navigation.
Your destination is nearby.
What is this, Google?
Right?
It's Google Maps for sure. That's right.
Wasn't there some controversy with some like weird woke thing placed in his memories in the original release of this? I vaguely remember people on Twitter getting really mad.
I do not recall that, but I'm not saying you're wrong. I think there's a strong possibility of that. But so the idea here, once again, and we'll continue this because there's only 20 seconds left.
Rolling peaks. I shudder to think of what would have happened if Link hadn't led everyone here.
Plus, in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, you won't just hear stories from Princess Zelda.
This altar is considered the most holy place in the temple.
You can look forward to hearing stories from 2 other characters as well.
Is this the afterlife?
Okay. Which brings
Can
up
I also ask a question?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure, like, Link wanders around in, like, a not super technologically advanced society. Why is there an iPhone that is playing this stuff for you? Like,
well, the iPhone is just like a companion app. They know that you're going to have this, but, you know, there is
couldn't they have made it, like,
technology.
skinned to look like something in Link's universe, though?
Your phone? Or the
Yeah,
app?
like, instead of just giving you, like, an iPhone on the side of your screen, couldn't they have, like,
Oh.
I don't know...
Okay, to be clear, that's not on the screen. That's something.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just them showing that you can use your phone.
Okay. I thought that would like pop up when you had like the in-game voice stuff, and I was like, what?
Now they're-
No.
Zelda's world is really, really like advanced, and they have iPhones now.
No, but I love that idea. But I do hate this. So does this person. Says, I hate this, by the way. Locking story content behind a mobile app is gross, right? And I think that's another layer to this idea that you're getting an expanded game if you get the Switch 2 version of this, where in a story-driven and narrative-driven game like Zelda, where there's all these little dips and you can like 100% it and feel like you have the entire story. Now you have to buy more of the story to truly understand the depth and the lore and everything associated with that.
I definitely agree with that person. I was a huge fan. I'm going to bring it up again. I bring it up all the time. I was a huge fan of Pokemon Dream World in black and white. And Dream World was like, you got on your PC, you got onto a special like app that, you know, could connect to black and white, and you could play in it for like an hour a day. I wish I could do more than an hour a day. But they didn't lock any story behind it. It was purely for like autistic min-maxing, catching Pokemon for breeding, and getting a couple of like extra berries and items. There was nothing super important about it. It was just if you wanted to play with it, you could. I love that. I love it when they add like extra things to games like that, and of course it was completely free, so I loved that kind of thing. If they're locking story behind this app, and especially if the app costs money, that is incredibly egregious. If it was free, if it was just like extra stuff if you wanted to, I would be like happy about that, but this doesn't seem like what they're doing.
It doesn't seem like it's enough to justify the cost, I suppose, at least for
It's
me.
up my mother's ass.
That's funny. Young, thank you for that. We're going to have some of your super scrolling on the bottom of the screen, Blabs, if you can take care of that. We'll read everything over 10, but just know we appreciate all your support today. It's massive, and we can't do the show without you guys. So big ups, and we appreciate it, but we won't be able to read, unfortunately, everything that comes through, as we still have a lot to get to today. So just know we genuinely appreciate it. Speaking of, we are one super away from our next Montez. So we'll see what goes on there. All right. We have this as well. We talked about like the Joy-Cons, and now they actually serve as a mouse. You can actually play the two games. We saw the Ricky game over here, the game for cripples, right? You can use that for in Metroid Prime 4 as well, and Famitsu magazine, which is a famous magazine out of Japan. They actually have some footage of that. See how it looks when you go down into mouse mode. Looks pretty responsive. You can kind of see how that looks. The fact that you can just kind of turn your controller is pretty cool. And just goes right into it. You can go from waggling this thing to kind of putting it face down. So, that's a neat feature, I suppose. I don't know many people who will be playing with a mouse pad, not in front of their PC. So
it doesn't really look like that comfortable of a mouse to use, but like, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, well, let's talk about probably one of the biggest games that was announced yesterday, and that's Mario Kart World. Do you like Mario Kart, Kirsche?
I have never played Mario Kart.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, when I bought Nintendo stuff, they were glorified Pokemon consoles, so...
I'm ringing my bell of, like... everyone gives me shit, and then she comes along and she's like, I haven't played Mario Kart ever.
Hey.
The only Mario game I ever played is the Search for the 6 Golden Coins.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
Hey, Kirsche, you're the best. You know that? You're the absolute...
Oh, no. What happened to him? Anyway, hey, how's it going?
You have a chance to teach me all the Mario things.
Hey, can we just get a chant in the chat? Kirsche's the best. Kirsche's the best. Kirsche's the best. It'd be great.
Oh
It's
my
everybody
God.
to start chanting that. It would be outstanding.
Nah, Craig's like, you never played this game? You've never played this game? And then, like, lo and behold, I'm just saying, justice for Blabs.
Extremely admirable of you. Really,
I think
really.
Kirsche sucks.
No, I appreciate your honesty and transparency, Kirsche, with your lack of Mario.
I say that all the time. I've never played this game. Oh, you're...
Seriously though, you're so brave, and I can look. The chat is going crazy now.
I'm not gonna pretend I've played a game. That'd be stupid.
Kirsche, you truly are the best and super brave for admitting that. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Hey, Blabs, good to see you.
Yeah, fuck you.
All right, let's talk about Mario Kart, which you haven't played, but I just want to point this out. There are now 50 characters that you can play in Mario Kart World. Now, when it comes to Mario Kart, there was originally 8 characters. It was Mario, Luigi, Toad, Princess, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Bowser, and someone else I'm forgetting. But it was like the core characters. When you think Mario, it was like the core characters, right? With 50 characters, now we've gotten to the point to where we have fucking dry bones fish riding a fucking motorcycle.
That looks so goofy. Is there a Pokemon in Mario Kart now?
Well, there's not, but there's a crab.
What? Okay, how do they have crab and dry bone fish, but they don't have a Pokemon?
They should have memed it and done E3 crab.
I mean, yes, a giant enemy crab.
The crab's claws look like Easter eggs.
You got the crab.
They do.
Nabbit. Yeah, that's true. It is an Easter egg. It's cute. You can now be a cow.
Cow.
It's just cow. That's all.
Can you still do the Miis, like your own Mii, or no?
Good question, because
I've not seen anything.
But look at how stupid this is. Like the idea that you can play as a blooper fish or Monty Mole of all things, or a fucking bee. Like how
What's
stupid
the thing
is
at
that?
The bottom that looks like a lemon with a beak?
Oh, that's a Wiggler.
It's the caterpillar.
That's yeah.
Oh, of course, the caterpillar.
Yeah. So
you would know if you played one of the Mario Kart games.
That's true. That's true.
That's true. You would, but being as brave as you are, it's good. I appreciate it. So you can see kind of
this is like the least criticism I have whatsoever. Adding new characters does not faze me at all.
No. I'm not criticizing it at all. But I think who's gonna play as a fucking snowman versus
11-year-olds?
Yeah. I was gonna say that's for children.
Yeah.
Why don't you
ask
see that
your
purple
girls?
thing? Kids are gonna go crazy for that purple thing right before the caterpillar.
A Wiggler here?
Of all the characters and ask your girls if they would play as any of these new characters.
Well, this is Nabbit. Maybe I will, because when you have, so this is a dolphin that you ride on in Super Mario World. It's a fucking dolphin. Like it's not even a character that you play as. It's
in
like
Mario
an accessory.
Kart, you ride Dolphin. Dolphin doesn't ride you.
All right.
They are the rapists of the sea, after all.
That is true.
Been well established. Hey, good old Cheapy D from Cheap Ass Gamer has this. Blabs is very excited about this success. Well, that's enough Mario Kart, by the way. We do have this, Blabs. What do you think about that?
I love it, and all the e-thoughts are gonna go gaga for it because they're like, look at my new plant with their tits sticking out. And it's their camera, right?
Because there is a camera, Kirsche, that is going to be connected to.
It actually is really clever, though. I have to say, the piranha plant as a camera, like top tier.
Oh yeah.
That would be a really funny way to have like a home security camera that people don't even notice is a camera. I'm gonna be real.
Right. But it's creative for sure, and I'm sure that somebody saw them and was like, it's got to be a piranha plant, and you know what? They were right. It does need to be a piranha plant. We also have this from Kay. Kay says, I suspect rather than lowering prices on Nintendo games, we're going to see the retail strategy of store gift cards being given out with purchase. It'll keep people in the ecosystem while giving the illusion of it being cheaper. Buy Mario Kart World and get a $10 Best Buy gift card. That'd be
That's
interesting.
never enticed me to buy things because it's like, why would I pay you $70 to get a $10 store credit? Like that. I would rather just pay $60 instead, like.
Dude, I hear that for sure. What's also interesting, one of the big controversies, Kirsche, is the idea of what is a game cart versus a game key cart. Have you heard about this?
No, but I mean, if I had to imagine, if you buy a physical game, it should just come with a digital key, like 100% of the time.
So sometimes when you buy a Nintendo game, you're buying more or less a key for the game. It's a cart that looks, it's more or less it's a cart that's designed to show that you have the game, but the game is not physically on it. So you have the key, you download it, right? So retailers...
That's fucking stupid.
Yes, it is fucking stupid. You will own nothing and like it.
I hate owning nothing.
We have this from as well. This was interesting, where retailers are now having to, they're going to start marking the difference between a game key cart versus a actual game cart, ones that are truly the physical game versus the non-physical game, which I think is actually a good thing, that you have a better idea of what you're buying.
No, I mean, it's a good thing that they're labeling it so people won't accidentally buy the wrong one and then open the game case and be severely disappointed. But
right.
I think that if you're selling a physical copy of the physical game should be in there 100% of the time. And when you buy the physical game, it should always come with a digital key.
Yeah. It's almost like there's a little bit of common sense there. The idea that if you own it, you can, you should own it. I know it sounds
silly. It's the same with like emulation, right? Where like people are just like, oh, if you own the physical copy of the game, it's fine because you're using your game's like code to put in the emulator. So it's like you already bought it, right? So if that's what like people's thoughts on emulation is, why not just give a digital key with every physical copy of the game? Does that make too much sense? Am I crazy?
My guess is that they don't want to do that because you could give it to a friend. You could technically give that digital key to somebody else.
I just had PSTD flashbacks of was it Sony who was like, I can't remember if it was Sony or Xbox. It might have been Xbox. Where they're like, we're gonna scan your room, and if someone in the room doesn't own the game, we're not gonna let you play it.
Right. Yes, there was that a few years ago where that was stupid. And then of course, we brought this up before, but the brilliant PS4 sharing of the games ad that was done in response to that. Do you remember that? Where they did that at E3. This is E3 11 years ago.
Yeah.
This one's super viral here. And it's almost like this was such a great power move.
This is how you share your games on PS4.
Man, you pulled this up so fast.
Thanks.
Thanks. Okay, so it was Xbox that did the fucking we're gonna scan the room shit. That was so stupid.
I'm a wizard Googler. I'm spectacular when it comes to searching.
Now
for
he's
things
got all
online.
these bookmarked.
That's right.
It's like when I'm on stream, I give like the worst explanation of something, and I'm like, yeah, KB, can you pull that up for me? And he actually does. It's crazy.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. Now, fair warning, though. I just want everybody. So we're all on the same page, everybody. This is very, very important that you realize this. Nintendo has let you know that the Switch 2 is not aimed at people who want high performance hardware. So
I feel like every Nintendo console has not been aimed at people who want high performance hardware. So this isn't anything new.
Right. Up until the I'd say the GameCube. They tried with the GameCube, it didn't quite work out. And
The GameCube makes a wonderful home defense weapon if you don't own a firearm, though. That thing can do some damage.
You bust somebody over the head with that thing. Yeah, I think the correct response is no shit. You know, like, of course.
yeah, exactly.
Now, I don't know if you saw, I don't love it, but I do, scrolling through X, will find reactions to announcements and such, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a thing to kind of get your brand out there. And I think I'm just kind of over the top ridiculous reaction from folks when it comes to games. Maybe it's just me. I understand being excited, but then there's also like the show element of, hey, I'm on stream. I better be excited for this. And I want to kind of go through a few of those and show you some of these that I found. This is.
Oh, is this like Nintendo shills react, where they're like Nintendo seals? Oh, Mario Kart World. Oh.
When I was playing through Alan Wake 2 before I rage quit, part of my rage quitting was like, I need to see what other streamers are doing with this right now. And so I went to like the category on Twitch, and there were streamers like getting up out of their chairs and dancing and clapping, and they're like, this is the best game I've ever played. And I was like, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. What the heck? Where am I? What is happening?
Well, let's get a little bit of that. Because I thought about brandishing the firearm and slowly moving it towards my head while watching a few of these things in Minecraft. But here we are. GameCube games are coming to the Nintendo Switch. This is from Beat 'em Up Woods from the Nintendo podcast, a very, very big podcast. Let's see how he reacted to this.
Take a look at this.
I can't handle it. Get out of here! Get out of here! There's no shot. Even I didn't believe
Nintendo
this.
Switch Online.
This man has my accent. I'm offended.
It's like Boston's Asmongold.
Way more friendly and way more brand friendly for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't believe this.
We'll be getting a new classic game library exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo
That's
GameCube,
awesome.
Originally released in 2001.
Incredible.
Here are the titles that will be available at launch.
No
A Legend of Zelda game that looks like a cartoon
so
come to life through cell shading.
man.
Yes, it is. It is.
Like, you can tell he's not actually excited. He's just like, I gotta say thing for the camera.
Right. Ugh.
It's
Links
so
set
long,
sail on an
and they're
adventure
just
across the
giving
Great
it for
Sea.
free,
The
essentially.
Legend of Zelda,
They're
The
just
Wind
putting
Waker.
it on an app, essentially.
Transcending history and the world.
Is it
A
free if you
tale
have
of
to pay for
swords
it?
and swords.
Right. So you buy it's not free. It's not. You actually pay for it every month. Just want to point that out.
It's free like Canada's healthcare free.
You're right. Everybody pays for it.
My arm, I can't even.
In this 3D
This is out of
weapons-based
control.
fighting game,
I
each fighter
can't,
comes equipped
my
with a different
guy.
weapon. And Link from
What
the
are we-
Legend of Zelda
what
series
are we
enters
doing?
the fray.
What are we
Soul
doing out
Calibur
here?
2.
He's been going for a minute at this point.
That's
Right?
I gotta like revoke his accent, man. I gotta go like suck the accent out of him somehow. he doesn't deserve to sound this goofy.
You don't get it. You don't get it. Well, we're not done because I got a few more for you. All right. And
He
by the
also
way,
says my guy like Kirsche. That's because he has my accent.
Mary says, I'm confused. Is this sarcasm? Look, we're just getting started. Normal Man says, Norm, good to see you. Says, he sounds like a girl trying to be impressed. Let's talk about some of these girls because we're going to go to Donkey Kong Bonanza reaction. Let's see how Toadette, a streamer, reacted to this.
Last trailer for oh my god, bro! You're trying to kill me! Guys, have a medic on standby!
Man, Sarah Silverman really needs money, doesn't she?
Sarah Silverman, I love it. Oh, that's fucking awesome. All right, here we go.
Stop right now! I'm going to faint! You need to be careful, Nintendo. People can't like what is my heart rate at? 500,000?
What the fuck? I've never seen someone that excited for like any Donkey Kong. Isn't that what? There's people in chat who are saying she sounds like Blabs. I disagree. She sounds like Sarah Silverman. She's gonna be drawing like an incorrect swastika on her wall and saying she got attacked soon.
They're saying that's discount Blabs.
Timu Blabs, let's go.
Best value.
Oh my god, let's see how. I'm sure after her wonderful.
Dude, she really does sound like Toadette. Wow.
Her wonderfully stable response. Let's see how this continues.
Oh god.
No way! No, look at him! Oh my god! Oh my god! This man deserves this! Oh my god!
It's not a man, it's a monkey.
You know what's my favorite part? She keeps looking at herself in the camera.
Yeah.
It's clearly on the other side.
Wait. Hold on, Blabs. Are you accusing that of being performative and ridiculous?
Yes.
I'm just saying.
She's still in the frame on her camera. She's like, oh, let me look at my OBS. Oh, my cam's still there.
Maybe we need some sort of SS guard to round up streamers and put them in camps. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Oh no! Oh no! Well, we're not done because we're saving the best for last. If you thought she was very stable and a stable person, let's check out this lady with her reaction to this here on Nintendo.
Please take a look at this.
Is it GameCube Online? I will cry.
Oh my god!
Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack will be getting a new classic game library exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo GameCube.
Wait, how did she know that was
Since
coming up that
2001.
instant?
Here are the titles that will be available at launch. A Legend of Zelda game that looks like a cartoon come to life through cell shading. Controlling the wind using a mysterious baton.
Like, brother, okay, Xenosaga is my favorite game in the world. And when people told me about the, like, end of the Xenoblade DLC, where they made references to Xenosaga, and I watched it on stream, I got really excited. I was like, hell yeah, look at all this stuff, listen to the things I remember, chat, my brain actually works for this one game. Like, I was thrilled, I was overjoyed, but I wasn't, like, breaking eardrums on stream, I wasn't crying, I was just like, I am excited. And it's like, I get it, you know, some people get really loud, like, that's fine, but I feel like all of this over-exaggeration that streamers do make other streamers feel like they also need to over-exaggerate in order to be entertaining, and it just creates this, like, self-fulfilling cycle of too much cringe. As an anime woman, I was born in the cringe, molded by it, but, like, sometimes the flesh tubers go a little far.
Yes, Well, what I wanted to point out here was, and this was suggested. Why don't you check this out? That's actually really, Hobocop says these guys are gaming's Disney adults. Oh my god,
they are.
Holy shit, what an analogy! But I want to. Okay, look at this. Look at everything. Okay over there?
I was finishing my coffee shortly.
Love that. Look at this face of discontent here. Okay. And I'm going to fast forward. Let's see. We went from here. 3 seconds later. This is 3 seconds. Tell me how stable this person is. where
She
you can
forgot
start.
to take her mood stabilizers today.
Yes, watch how stable this is when you can go from this to this, literally crying in 3 seconds. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. And if this is real, it's totally fucking fake. And you're like, that makes
No,
sense.
it's totally fake. Cause like, how'd she even know it was gonna be right then, right?
Well,
I mean, like I've preemptively predicted something, so I'll give that one like benefit of the doubt, right?
Yeah. And everybody knew the Nintendo Switch was gonna Switch Online was gonna add GameCube. Like everybody knew that was gonna be a thing. So for her to be so mentally stable to be able to do this and go, once again, I just want to point out, fine, excited, weeping like a fucking new mother. Like,
Maybe I just don't understand this because I'm not bipolar. I'm like one of the few women that aren't.
God damn. Oh my God. Just absolutely fascinating stuff. And I just wanted to point those out. But I'll tell you what. We're not done yet because we do have one last reaction. And this is from an indie dev. The message simply being, well, I'm fucked. As apparently he was making Mario Kart World bouncing off rails just like they do in the game. He was making a sweet little indie game, and now Nintendo has came and fucked his chances of success right here. So he came through in the realization that he's been beaten to the punch. Damn it! So I just found that so both sad and really funny at the same time. So
if only he put a cow in his game.
Maybe that's what he should do. Is go in and get his cow right here. So
this reminds me of that guy that's been memed for like a million years, where he was like watching, I think it was some sort of Star Wars trailer, and then he just started like crying in the middle of it. If you remember what I'm talking about.
Yes. Oh, by the way, I did want to. Yes, the guys. Yeah, I remember that guy. Yeah. I did want to point out something worth noting about Miss Click. But look, she may be a wonderful woman, to be totally clear, and I hope she has tremendous success. I hope she does. Now. She is actually a Nintendo ambassador. So just something
she probably already knew about that then.
Just a heads up on that. But there has been a lot of controversy, like I said, around this. And this tweet really popped off with 1.7 million views, 68,000 likes. We have this from Jeff Keighley saying, Mario Kart World will retail for $80 for the digital edition. And this says, when Nintendo, when it took the time to drop the most anti-consumer practice you've ever seen in your life after showcasing the most innovative and creative games in the industry, right? We're like, I feel this is where a lot of people are struggling because they saw this direct. They got so hyped. It was like a 10 out of 10. People were crying like this lady is, everyone loving it. Then they find out the prices of everything, and they're like, oh, so they're very conflicted right now about Nintendo, as we saw earlier. And I just kind of felt that over the last.
You're underwater.
Oh, I am? Okay. Well,
Water, fish, Craig.
You're back now.
Okay. Sorry, that video was playing. But I felt like this is just a vibe I felt on the internet. And I just said, is it just me, or does it feel like a lot of people like feel betrayed in some way by Nintendo? And a lot of people responded the same way. Snap came in, Snap, regular viewer of the show, says, I feel that sentiment as well, that the Switch 2 may end up being the next Wii U. Only time will tell. I don't think it's going to be the Wii U, but it could be the next 3DS. Because this person came and brought up a great point. Says, yeah, remember when the 3DS got backlashed and flopped at launch because parents and casuals boycotted it? This will and probably should happen again, where they went and they slashed the prices by a third of the original game, of the original 3DS. They launched it at $250 and they dropped it to $170. So history may repeat itself.
Well, I think it's very anti-consumer, to be completely honest. It's rough because we even said it yesterday. Like, the price of technology has gone down, and yet all their games are skyrocketing, especially now. So it's like, so why would I spend money on that when I can go and just play the old stuff that I have already? And the whole like killing all physical games, like everyone was saying GTA was gonna kill physical games, and Nintendo was like, "Hold my beer, I'll do it first." So
right.
yeah.
You guys obviously have a lot of thoughts on this. Kirsche, what after you've seen all this stuff, what are your thoughts on the Switch 2? Do you have any interest as somebody who has not picked up a Nintendo console in years?
Absolutely zero interest. I have nothing that interests me about it. I mean, it's neat, I guess, that they're bringing the GameCube stuff to the Switch, but like, why would I not just play on a GameCube emulator? Right? Like, I have no reason to buy like a new version of it on the Switch 2, especially at the prices that they want people to pay. It just seems, again, it's really ridiculous how they want to raise prices so much right now. And they're like, oh, you can buy our subscription to get all these old games. I'm tired of subscriptions. I've never been like an Xbox Game Pass kind of person. I never have bought like a PlayStation Online. Like, I'm just not... If I can avoid a subscription, I will, is kind of my thing. Like, I'll just play the physical copies that I own.
Well, it's tough because I do feel like there's a lot of people who are extremely conflicted with Nintendo today. And I'm one of them. I certainly am one of them. I have had a lifelong relationship with Nintendo, literally since I was a little kid. My kids have a relationship with Nintendo now because I had a relationship with them. And I've said this about Nintendo many, many times. The one thing that Nintendo has that Microsoft and Sony doesn't is they have a connection with your childhood, right? At least people my age. They grew up playing this game from the start. It's the origin. It's the OG. It's the idea that when I was 6 years old, I was playing Super Mario Brothers, and I've seen him grow as I have grown. And I feel like for the first time in my relationship with this multi-global billion-dollar entity, right, which I totally understand is really fucked up for me to say this. It's the same as like Disney kids and Disney adults and stuff like that. I feel my relationship with these characters wavering based off the price tag. Now, I know that if I was to go down and I was to buy a Switch 2 and play Mario Kart World, I would fucking love it. I know it. It's just a matter of, will I do what I always say, and will I vote with my wallet, or will I let the nostalgia in my relationship with this entity get the better of me? And I don't know the answer to that yet.
Yeah, it's like, it's not like, that's something all of us are weak to, and like I've talked about it before as well. Like Pokemon, with the Pokemon Go game, they did that horrendous like DEI update where they just made everyone fucking ugly. Everyone hated it. Everyone disliked what they did to the avatars. And I don't know if now that Pokemon Go's been sold to a Saudi Arabian, I think it's Saudi Arabian company, I don't know if they're going to like fix some of that nonsense that had been injected, or if it's going to be more of the same. But like at one point I went back and played a little bit of it, and it's just like I couldn't feel like good about playing it because like I know what they were doing to the game. I know what they're promoting. I know who they're partnered with, and it kind of lessened the connection I had, because like Pokemon was the only thing I bought anything Nintendo for my entire life. Like I would buy the new Game Boys, and I would buy both of the new Pokemon games, and I would go to town. But like now it just kind of feels a little bit hollow, I guess. Like I still love Pokemon, and I still like buying some of the things Pokemon related, but it makes me feel a bit sad that they don't want to do anything innovative with the games. They just want to keep doing the same exact thing that they've been doing for decades, because people like me will just continue to buy them because of nostalgia. And I talk about how gamers will just buy slop all the time, and like again, I'm part of the problem with Pokemon. Right. But like I don't know how we sort of fix something like that to encourage companies to do better. And I think Pal World was a good way to set a fire under Nintendo's ass to do something with Pokemon more than they have been, but instead they just decided, oh, we're just going to litigate the competition away.
Right. 1000%. I agree with you on that. And I think that's the weirdest thing about Nintendo is I feel like they're a fairly innovative company and they take a lot of risks. But with Pokemon, it's been essentially rinse and repeat for the longest time. I've personally never been a big Pokemon fan, but I mean, I get the admiration for it. And I think a lot of people's love for Pokemon is the same reason why I love Mario, right? It was what I grew up with. There's that nostalgia associated with it. So, Okay, a lot of Nintendo talk there. Love it. Love to hear your thoughts. Let us know down. Obviously, if you're watching this after we're live, let us know your thoughts down in the comments. It's been a great discussion, and we will continue this discussion because I think the blowback is going to be very real. And this is going to be very interesting to see what the pre-orders number look like, if people will let their nostalgia get in the way. And if this does set a precedent moving ahead for games and the pricing of games for all consoles and even PC, you know. All right. So here's the thing. We have super chats to get to, right? But after the show today, we're going to be premiering the first episode of Nerd Duel, which is our brand new trivia show that is launching literally today. You don't have to go anywhere. So if you're thinking about bouncing, don't. Stay here with us. As we get through these super chats, we're going to end the show, and you're going to be automatically redirected to the Nerd Duel page on YouTube. If you guys are watching over on YouTube, we'll get the link over on Rumble as well. It's set up to be a premiere, so the chat will be live. It's currently set to go live at 1:30 today, but as soon as this show is done, I will adjust that to essentially start immediately. So stick with us. We definitely want you guys to check out Nerd Duel. It's a show that, like I said, it combines Jeopardy, Mario Party, and Mortal Kombat, and it's wicked fun. So check it out. It's going to be great. Looking forward to that. If you guys would like to support us, once again, head to Side Scrollers Plus. Use promo code FOXLADY to help support Kirsche as well. You'll support us and our show and Nerd Duel and Side Scrollers and Blabs Versus and all the other productions that we have going on. And you get access to stuff early. You could have watched Nerd Duel last week, at least the first episode. So, but first, let's get to some of these supers and say a big fat thank you to your support today. Winston says, what's the beef between Kirsche and YouTuber Synthetic Man? As a fan of both you guys, both your channels, it saddens me to see you infighting. From what I know, it's artificially manufactured beef by a third party, nerd of well, not Synth himself. You don't have to answer that if you don't want to. It's your call.
I mean, I don't really like talking about drama, but after the Real Game Awards, it was basically his audience that was flooding me on like Twitter, and some people came to my stream chat as well, doing all of the like, oh, you know, Kirsche announced Barrett. She's a Jewish-controlled opposition, BBC-loving whore. I was like, even if Synthetic Man himself didn't say anything, he doesn't control his audience, but it's just like, I don't think there's beef between him and I just think his audience is like incredibly childish and weird, you know?
Sure. Zim came in and says, got my Fox Lady merch and cup. I don't know what the metal tray was for. I can't smoke anymore. So don't need weed a stash. You think the pushback on the prices for games will force Nintendo to fix their shit, kind of like how things went for Xbox One back in 2013. I wouldn't be so upset if Nintendo kept things legit with their physical editions, especially since the majority of Nintendo fans are physical collectors. I think it's going to come down to, do people buy it when it's launched? That's all it's going to comes 100%. Magnum North says, Darkside Phil's Survivor. He has been around since the Jurassic period. He cannot be stopped, like booty cants. All right. Thank you, Magnum North. Blaz, why don't you read these from Evade right here?
Okay. Evade says, don't know what people talk about. Prices in the EU have changed for Switch 2 and games as far as I have seen in their shop in Amazon. Also, UK isn't EU. Do the Kirsche. That is true.
Not the Kirsche.
They left. Okay. Modest this one's for Craig, actually, to read.
Hey, bada bing.
Hey, bada bing. What's the Haps crew in Foxu? What's the matter with Nintendo? Ain't paying no $80 for a game. Arrivederci, mi amicis. Mozzarella, ravioli, cannoli, bologna.
It says Bologna, but that's fine.
Bologna.
Anyway, StreamYard is doing that great thing. Did we buy this one? Buy Kirsche's Gamer Subs Waifu Cup. Help her get her own flavor. She should name her own flavor. Reddit Tears.
Hell yeah. Buy a cup for your cup.
MB says, people don't realize that lower prices equals more copies sold equals more profit, especially when digital, per definition, is limitless. No copies to physically print. Ninty should actually lower the prices. I think he means Nintendo. That's fine, Ninty.
Ninty.
Mikey says, what makes me mad is the pay to upgrade to play games from Switch 1. Yeah, that's shit. You already own them.
Hear that.
Soul Silver says people using inflation as an excuse for the price increases are completely delusional. Everyone forget the average wage of most people have stayed the same for the past 10 years as inflation rises up. Yep, I agree. Norm says the problem is also what the price increase says to other gaming companies and the industry. Studios like Ubisoft will think they can get away with selling Assassin's Creed Shadows quality games for $100+ dollars. And the Switch 3 will be a contactless card reader. Phantom says, hail side-scrollers, hail Foxu. How about Super Switch or Switch Plus? Switch 2 Electric Boogaloo. Craig, how about a new channel? Let's call it Super Side-Scrollers. Also Montez. So I was for the Super Switch. That's what I wanted. Or the Switch Up or something like that, you know?
Speaking of Montez, we did hit our second. Kirsche, what would you like? Tetris? Duck Hunt? Anything in particular? Street Fighter?
Let's do a Duck Hunt.
Bitch!
She did. All right,
Okay.
you want? Thank you.
Vivian.
Blabs,
so-
you're gone.
What happened
Blabs
to
is
me?
black now.
I'm Netflix.
Oh, are you protesting for BLM?
Yeah, I'm Netflix. Dude, I don't know. Streamer just like disconnects my camera. Weird.
It happened to me.
Rivian says, Nintendo, we worked hard on this commercial. People should have to pay us for it. Montez.
It's true.
Cookie. $630 plus Canadian for the Switch 2 and $110 to $120 per game. At that price, I'll buy Steam Deck and expand my library during one of Steam's many, many sales. The cost, especially for digital games, is outrageous. It's unfair. Yeah, I guess you. Norm says, I remember not playing my DS for years and it still stayed fully charged. Yeah, dude, anytime I boot up my Nintendo DS, it's still working. Raphael says it's basically a paid ad for the Switch 2, right? Here's an idea, make it free and put it in the Switch 1. That way it can convince people to buy it, otherwise it makes no sense. Joey says, I was probably the only kid in Puerto Rico who had a Sega Saturn, and it came with a demo disc that had like 5 demos and a bunch of trailers for upcoming games back then. Nintendo's being greedy. I agree.
Back when Nintendo like actually wanted to sort of, compete with the other consoles, like the GameCube, like Craig said earlier, up to the GameCube is when they were trying to, do performance. The GameCube came with like a lot of nice collector's edition games. My GameCube came with like a Zelda one. It was like a gold case, and it had like a whole bunch of Zelda games, even going back as far as some of the. I think it had like a Game Boy game or two on it, but it had a whole bunch of Zelda stuff on it. It's like I don't know why they don't do that anymore.
Sparky says, good morning, Craig, Blabs, and Foxu. Personally, I think Nintendo can run those prices because they know Sims will pay out of brand loyalty. Nintendo fans are wives getting the Shondo treatment, mostly. Thank you very much. Kratos says, I have more info on that pre-order. It's only through Nintendo's website and needs a Nintendo account. You can view details on their homepage.
Thank you, Kratos. Appreciate that, buddy.
Video Gamer says a little behind, but PlayStation 2 compatibility was dropped from PlayStation 3 to make super expensive console cheaper, and PlayStation 1 BC was never dropped. Love you, fancy Findom Friday Foxu flavor. Kirsche's cursed tangents.
I don't think they should have dropped the backwards compatibility for that reason. That's really silly.
Uberhen and Misfit and Danny have become Plus members. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you guys very much.
Marmalin says, I disagree with the game price keeping up. DLC season passes and the cut content started to change how we buy games and add insane amount of extra costs onto games. 90s, you got a full game.
I mean, I disagree because I agree with the DLC and the season pass bullshit increasing the cost of games, but the games stayed like that $60 and then they just made you pay more after that for the other things that I agree should just come with the game naturally. They shouldn't be releasing these half-baked games and then make you pay for the game's natural content later. It should just be finished. But when I say like the game price keeping up, I'm just talking about like the base game price. I can see where you make the argument of like maybe it's not keeping up because they do release the half-baked games. So I kind of get it, but like I wasn't talking about like adding the DLCs or the season pass and that kind of stuff.
Raptor says, I'm so glad I only use my Switch for mainline Pokemon games and nothing else. Otherwise, they can take their console and shove it. Shove it where? Bantam says, my lady Kirsche, dearest Foxu, might I have asked for a ketchup shake? Many thanks.
I could give you a shake. I could shake my ketchup for you, baby. My headset fell off my head. The shaking was so vigorous. Wow,
that's some vigorous shaking right there. That's shaking hard.
Hear anything.
Anyway, Miku says, imagine Sony set up an impromptu press conference. Game journalists and gamers are invited into a press room. Representative calmly walks up to the podium. He stares at the crowd before saying, 299. Cold Acid says, does the Switch 2 at least come with a Ridge Racer?
Ridge Racer. No, it doesn't.
Marius says, yet another app that I won't be getting. Norm says, Montez. Kratos says, Breath of the Wild already had a Sheikah slate, which was basically a tablet. Sheikah. So I don't know Zelda. Sheikah slate, which was basically a tablet. So tech does exist in that universe. Also, how is additional story via a free app any different from a DLC?
Fair.
Fair. Very fair.
Romer says, hello, Blabs, Craig, and Central Plots. Do you think Nintendo knows that the games are overpriced and why they released the Direct 2 months in advance? Maybe.
Do you think Nintendo knows that the games are overpriced and why they really? No, I think that that this is all built around the market. They've had this marketing calendar built out for 3 years. Like they know exactly when they're going to do this, how they're going to do it, and the marketing.
You're underwater.
No, I'm not.
Okay, sure. Emperor Kraton says, posting to summon Valiant Renegade to answer before the jury of nerds for his horrible Final Fantasy takes. He bought a PlayStation 3 just for 13, thinks 10 is garbage. Still love that guy, bless his heart. Seeker says, Steam actually has a solution to sharing digital games. If you share your library with friends or family, they can't play your games if you're actively playing a game you own, but they don't. Ian says, I don't often get really angry, but I was not looking at the screen, and that woman's scream made me really angry. Dude, I have seen Toadette, like someone impersonate Toadette playing like My Heart Will Go On the piano, where she's singing as Toadette. It's fascinating. Ugh. Bullet Shepherd says, hi, hail Kirsche, put the journals in my camps. No. Risk Video says, Nintendo fans and Disney adults are a lot alike. Montez. Wasp says, these performative screechers make me want the Remington retirement plan. A shotgun lobotomy, the perfect Kurt Cobain cosplay, so to speak.
Oh my God.
That's rough. Bentham says, Bostonian Asmongold, Foxu, he's your type. Hopefully the curse won't affect him, but be warned, as a Nintendo shill, he's probably already gay. Now I'm curious about the VTuber world reactions.
Is this kind of like how men can like dick the progressive politics out of women? Do you think women can do the reverse? Like you'll grip so hard that you could just like fuck the progressivism out of the cuck men? Is that possible?
I haven't heard that theory, but I appreciate it.
Plenty of Strife says, I'm worried this opens the gate for AAA companies to see Nintendo raise their prices so we can. Now I feel GTA 6 is going to be $100. Yep. Talorf, 8. Mari English had the best honest reaction to the GameCube information, I believe.
Mari_EN loves Gale of Darkness, so I'm sure she was really excited when they announced that.
Fiend became a Plus member. Thank you very much.
Go, Fiend.
Jimmy says, $60 is always too much for games. My parents only got me a few games per console, and the rest were rentals. Adjusted for inflation just means $60 is finally a reasonable price. Video Gamer says, game keys are just replacement for crap Switch games that release as case with key on paper. Can't imagine those sell well versus real game cards. Also, over $70 were hurt sales. Stupid move by Nintendo.
Ugly.
Young says, no DS games, but Switch 2 versions of game you've already purchased. Like, come on, Nintendo, I blame extra credits.
Oh.
And then Michael came in with a 50. Now let me find some boobies. There you go. Okay. And he says, buy Kirsche cups at Gamer Soups and support or gain her own flavor. Use code Kirsche for 10% off. Side scroll is awesome to see you as always. Thank you very much, Michael, for the 50.
Let's go. That's spectacular. That is outstanding.
My mods gave me Mari_EN's Nintendo reaction if you'd like to play it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's check it out.
She is my favorite theme.
Okay, let's check it out. Quick reminder, guys, don't go anywhere. We will this page will literally refresh, and you will be watching Nerd Duel in just a second. It's a brand new show we're doing here on the channel. Stick around if you guys are watching over on YouTube. I put a link in the pinned chat as well. If for some reason you don't get links, so if you want to open that up on a new tab, we'd greatly appreciate that. And before we get to that reaction, Commodore fan says, I'm not defending Sony, but when the PS3 with backwards compatibility came out at $600, sales tanked, so they had to find a way to lower the cost of the PlayStation 3. So the only way to remove compatibility through hardware. Thank you, Commodore fan. Tenarian says Chad Warden wipes his ass with $600. Let's go, Chad Warden. That's a deep cut. Tenarian says, time for a series where Craig teaches Kirsche to play classic games. I suggest you call the series Oshi and Broshi. We can do that. I would love to do that. That'd be great.
That would be fun.
John says Nintendo has the quote 2 game vouchers for the Switch for $100. Do you think they are trying to make people buy that since it'll be the best deal now? Oh yeah, I get the 2 for 1, but the more you buy, yeah, for sure. Tenarian came back with one more 10. Says, I have mixed feelings about Nintendo finally entering the gamer word area with game chat. Also, I suspect OnlyFans models are going to find ways to misuse the Switch 2 camera. Well, keep in mind that the camera is only used, you can only use it for your friends and family, from what I understand. So there's that. All right. Let's check out this reaction here. I have not seen this. You said this is awesome.
I don't know. I haven't seen it either.
Okay, let's see what goes on here with Mary here.
New exclusive.
Oh, I am gonna shit my pants.
Nintendo Switch will be getting a new classic game library.
I am going to shit. It's on the bingo card because I was coping, but I willed it into existence.
Here are the titles that will be available at
It does hurt me to hear GameCube games being referred to as classics.
They are. The GameCube is very retro. It's like 24 years old.
Don't see that.
The Legend of Zelda. Enjoy these classic
Please
games
put Pokemon XD on.
and the original releases. You can also check the controls
Doesn't
for
look
each
like
title
it.
and customize them to your
They'll
liking.
add more though.
Yeah, they would. I think they would probably put Colosseum.
titles
though,
will be
over-
Oh my god,
Oh,
I'm
never
gonna
mind.
shit my
I take it back.
Very realistic.
And there was
GameCube,
Colosseum at the
Nintendo
end.
Classics, the Switch 2 exclusive game library
I
coming
didn't
to
have his
Nintendo
ratings.
They put it at the
Online Plus Expansion
beginning!
Pack. Launches the same day as the
Do you want to play Patrick Radiance with me?
Me!
You won. We did win.
She willed it into existence. She did it. She got her XD.
You're so
also
bad!
be released.
Can we get a Reddit gold for that? Oh my god!
C button.
Why did you get this button? It already is a C.
This is like a real human reaction. When the anime woman has a more human reaction to an announcement than a flesh streamer.
I appreciate her shitting her pants. That's what she needs to have for her.
Part of her
anime
branding
YouTube.
is constant constipation, so you know.
My God. XA came in and says Nintendo increase the prices of everything as a revenge of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Think about it. Put on the tinfoil cap there. Northern Gentleman came in. Says buying $80 for a game you don't own and is not on the SD card, but this is okay because it's Nintendo. They can do no wrong. I see why Nintendo came after Dolphin, which is funny. Like I said, I'm very conflicted. Zach, for one, says, I love the fin in the house. Thank you very much. Don't even know what that is, but thank you.
She's a Fiemsch princess and she sells fentanyl.
Oh. Probably going to be deported eventually.
No, she's fine. She's a princess. They can't deport her.
Oh, she's a princess. That's good. That's good. All right. We are going to make our way over to Nerd Duel. Once again, you don't need to go anywhere. You stay right here, friends. We will not have a post show today because we are premiering Nerd Duel. So once again, stay exactly where you're at. Don't change any windows. Blabs, get the link over on Rumble if you haven't yet. Will you do that for us, please?
I already did it. It's pinned in Rumble too.
Excellent. Appreciate y'all's support today. Kirsche, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on YouTube at Kirsche Verstal, on Twitter with the same at Kirsche Verstal, or on Twitch at Kirsche. And also buy my merch at GamerSups using code Kirsche for 10% off. Get
right.
a cup for your cup.
And you can support us and Kirsche by going to sidescrollersplus.com. Use promo code FOXLADY, one word, and to get a discount on your annual membership over there. You can watch all our shows early. We do a post show here on Side Scrollers. So we'd love to see you guys there. Thank you guys very much for your support. You can support multiple ways, and we appreciate y'all's support through Superchats today. With that said, guys, thank you so much for your support today. We're going to make that raid over there. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be in the chat. We'll see you guys over there. Nerd Duel starts now. Have a great rest of your day. Remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it.
Bye.
See you guys later.
Fatality.